Good morning and welcome to live event number 2 for HIM 201, and this is of course the AM edition. So we'll be doing this again this evening at 7:30 East Coast time, which is 4:30 Pacific time. So I think just about everybody is on East Coast time. So just mark your calendars if you want to drop in for that event, I guess, as well. So here, just kind of starting out, we're going to run through a little bit about what I call the best of ICD-10, but it's really about preparing ourselves for this course is coming to an end. Here we are in week 8. We've got 8, 9, 10, and we are out of this course. So what can we do to make sure that we've set ourselves up for the optimal outcome when it comes to this class? Okay, so again, this right here is just some of the same information that we went through in our first live event back in July. So again, ending on September 21st, we have it highlighted right here in this dramatic red box. So 11:59 p.m. on September 21st is the end of this course. So today being September 2nd, we have about 19 days remaining. How are you going to make the most of those 19 days? Okay, so let's just kind of jump through here. Some of the objectives that we have for weeks 8, 9, 10, I went ahead and pulled these from our class syllabus. You can see here it really is just about continuing to master the different chapters, right? As we have our discussion questions, as we have our coding practice, end of chapter review, test yourself segments, whatever it is, we have a lot that we're doing within MindTap. But you're getting an opportunity to work through and really to truly master the material within each of them, or at least give you enough of a foundation that we can continue to master in future classes. Okay, so as we work through this, I'm not going to spend a great amount of time this morning looking at specific detail related to Chapter 8, right? The pregnancy, childbirth, whatnot. We have coming up Chapter 9, which kind of continues along looking at like the perinatal period. I think it lists here congenital malformations, deformations, and chromosomal. So kind of seen through that course. And then finally, week 10 is our final assessment. So again, what are we doing to prepare ourselves to be in the best position possible to complete this course? So one of the most important things to do at this point in the class, and actually I think a lot of people had great plans when we started out with week 1, kind of going back in time. Think about week 1, we had that discussion question, which was kind of our introductions, right? Where we talked about work-life balance, where we looked at maybe different ideas that we had for ensuring success. Well, have you revisited those? Have you seen how you're doing with that? I remember mention of planners and people prioritizing time, and I totally understand summer is a really hard time to be going through this, especially if, I don't know, you have kids going back to school or grandkids, or, you know, sometimes even the weather, right? I think Dorian is now bearing down on the East Coast. I think I saw something in the news about it's already hit the Bahamas. So hopefully you're not in that zone. But again, there are a lot of things that can kind of derail us as we make our way through our course. So what are you doing to support yourself and ensure that you are like lined up for the best outcome for this course? So what I have on the screen right now is just our discussion questions, right? So here's week 8, which is already posted. And actually, just as a note, nobody has yet added to it, though it is just Monday of the new week. So go ahead, get in there, add to that, recognizing, of course, that the discussion questions are only active during the week in which they are required, I guess. So like week 8, only active during week 8. So those could be lost points if you don't get those in by end of day Saturday, right? So always make it a priority as you go into the course hub, as you kind of set up your strategy for the week. Go in and do that discussion question first thing. It gets it out of the way. You've wrapped up those 10 points. You're not losing anything. Okay, not to mention, we have a lot of great engagement in there. I do really enjoy reading the discussion question posts, especially when people add maybe even personal or relevant stories that just make what we're doing that much more real. Okay, and then here's a sneak peek at the discussion questions that we have for week 9 and week 10. These are not yet available for adding to, but I just kind of put them on here so you can kind of gear up, be thinking about it. So week 9, for example, says choose a condition from the congenital malformation, deformation, and chromosomal abnormalities chapter of ICD-10. Research the condition and share information you find, such as symptoms, causes, treatments. Also give the ICD-10 code and any potential coding guidelines that might relate to that condition. So please don't I know it's tempting. Don't just go to WebMD, look up a disease, copy, paste. Okay, what I want you to do is go, you can use WebMD, that's totally fine. There's a lot of great websites that you could go to find something like this. You can go to professional associations. You can go to, seriously, even Mayo Clinic, I swear, they have something on everything. So whatever your resource, make sure that you read it though, and then present a summary, including those things, okay? It's fantastic when people include bullet points, format so that it's an easy read. It just makes it that much more enjoyable for the reader to grab your information and then to really get something from it. Okay, so of course, as per usual, when we're doing research, make sure that you select something that somebody else hasn't selected already, and that way it really enriches what it is that we're looking at on the discussion board. Okay, and then for week 10, this one's asking you to do just a little bit of reflection and then also look ahead. So reflecting, what is something that you've learned in HIM 201 about ICD-10 that has surprised you? Were there any things that surprised you? And do you have any advice to students that have not yet learned ICD-10? So when you think about, wow, we are already in week 8. I don't even remember what I didn't know before, right? So how do I remember what the surprises are? Well, if it's any help at all, you can consider looking back at our first live event if you had an opportunity to look at that recording. And you can see, okay, you know, some of the things that we talked about in week 1 of that, I think it might have been week 3, sorry, that we looked at this, you know, what things did I look at this and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Well, has it like really resolved anything for you? Even kind of the questions that we went through, right? We just had a couple basic questions, just general information about ICD-10. Any of that surprise you? You never know. Okay, and then it says in HIM 202, so this is part of the looking ahead, you'll be learning how to assign causes or morbidity codes in ICD-10. So according to ICD-10, Chapter 20, External Causes of Morbidity, and this is the V through Y codes, what are external cause codes? So this is asking you to look ahead a little bit, just to kind of look at primarily Chapter 20 and answer a couple of these questions. Okay, so that's the discussion question for week 10. And then of course, the biggest thing that we have going on in week 10, that is the final exam. And we're gonna actually touch on that, what to expect, how to prepare for it in our PM edition. Okay, so if you have to watch both of them on recordings, make sure you watch both. Okay, so again, just kind of thinking as you create your plan for success, you know, have you completed everything that you could? Granted, we have to do discussion questions during the week in which they're assigned, but do you have any assignments that you can go back, that you can look at, that you have an opportunity to refresh on? Really, the biggest takeaway from going into this course is creating your plan, sticking to your plan, and it's okay. If the plan gets derailed, get back on track, right? This is a resilience that we're going to be able to use in the rest of our classes, as well as it will serve us well even in our personal and professional lives, when we can constantly redirect our attention or refocus. You know, really, I think it comes down to, you know, people talk about that something that pushes you to take action. Whatever that something is for you, now's a great time to do it, right? We have weeks 8, 9, and 10. So again, I've included up here the assignment weights, just so you can kind of look back. Do you have, you know, any assignments for which we can do multiple submissions? Is there anything you want to go back and resubmit? If you go into MindTap, when you go into the assignment, it will tell you if it's a single submission or if it is a multiple attempts option. Okay, there are quite a few things that have multiple attempts. Check that out. Also, looking forward, like I said, we have on here the tests and the quizzes. Those are generally going to be one time, but the assignments are going to give you multiple opportunities. And then, of course, as you prepare for the final assessment, please ensure that you come back for the PM session or watch the PM recording. And that's really going to serve you well in feeling prepared and feeling like you know what you're walking into. Because, of course, the final assessment is a single attempt and it's timed, right? So you don't want to go into it, see what it has to offer, or decide you don't have the time and then back out. If you do that, it actually submits it. So it's all about planning for your success. So plan for how you're going to finish strong. Plan for how you're going to respond to the discussion questions this weekend going forward. Plan for how you're going to prepare yourself, prepare your time, prepare your physical space to take the final assessment. All right, you guys, that is all that I had for this morning. I just wanted to kind of open this up, and really the intent of our AM session this morning was just to kind of have a dialogue about how I can support you, if there's any tools that you need, or to even give you suggestions. As this is a recording, it's a little bit less interactive, but feel free to send me a message, send me a text, however you'd like to communicate, and I am happy to support you in whatever way. Also, please come back for our PM session. We will be talking more about this. All right, and on a final note, I'm going to scroll down here to the end. Just remember, mindset is everything. You might be feeling overwhelmed. You might be feeling like there's just too much to do in this time. No. You know what? It's about wrapping your head around it. Make that plan, make a realistic plan, and then commit to it. Turn yourself around, and really what you're going to be doing is proving to yourself that you can absolutely do this. All right, you guys, have a fantastic Monday. It is Labor Day, so I hope that you are able to enjoy yourself, or at least make it super productive. Either way, I hope to see you this evening. All right, have a great day.